Hope for a dying man is not the fact that the man won't die. It's the belief that his death may be the birth of something worth dying for. The same belief that the founding fathers of this great nation had when they were busy dying for independence, down in the forest, dependent on the covers of leaves, hoping that these same beliefs may be transcendent, passed down from generation to generation. The same belief that Jesus, a God in all his rights, had when he was busy dying for a man completely worthless in his own eyes. The same belief that Judas had when he chose to betray God, and on realizing that he had just sent to the gallows the only hope for mankind, he decided to save himself. So he hung his guilt upon a tree when he realized that he had been a fool to ever imagine that for 30 silver coins he could afford something that was being offered for free. Hope. Hope for a dying man is not the fact that the man will live. It's the belief that he will leave behind a legacy of memories that spark dreams to be great. 30 silver coins was never enough to hold a hero down, for he rose. And in 3 days he did something that could never have been done by the world's strongest heroes. He chose me from amongst the thorns, and so I sprouted into this rose. I was ugly, an eyesore, until I saw and looked upon the one who changed me from the caterpillar that I was into this butterfly you see. His divine economics taught me that $1 million with hypocrisy was less than a penny with sincerity, so maybe we should change our names to currencies because of the way we get converted currently, even after we have diverted from the truth. And the truth is that no matter how tall our egos are, we have all fallen short of the glory of God. So sit back as I attempt to coin phrases of how my spirit has rested in more than 1,000 cells in this prison of a body, how I found freedom behind my bars, the stories behind my scars speak of how Christ had to rip off my skin just in order to bring me this far. Every tear on my physical was repaired by patches of heaven. If you try cutting my skin, you will see that I bleed of milk and honey. But honey, let's call a spade a spade. We have poker-faced men with hearts harder than diamonds, and daily they buy flowers and try to bury their own mistakes because they were just too grave. Then later on they party from one party to another like happiness depends on more than 2 raves. Christ is no longer whom we crave. We have been enslaved to the idea of being dependent on ourselves like Eve. Because when you take a bite off the apple, you start thinking of I, pad, I, phone, I, know better. Testimonies don't move us anymore. We remain seated during altar calls because we can't stand the conviction. The devil can't stand the evictions from our hearts, so we try to change phones so we can alter calls and visions, but really, we just lack an idea that we are done living in ignorance, so we would rather try fear, yet here is a man whose other name was truth. We all know that hurts. That's why Mary had labor pains. It's never easy giving birth to the truth. A man who spit poetry with every word he uttered. A man who spoke every topic that mattered. He was literally a walking hospital, modern day matter. Yet I know exactly why you relent. Most churches nowadays have a cross at the altar and another at the roof, 2 representing the double crossing to expect. Maybe church folks really means church folks says, because nowadays the church folks says religion, but there are no pauses for Christianity. Yet we were taught to be like sheep. So daily I'm supposed to think about and pray for my fellowship, knowing fully well that if one knee commits a crime, the fellow knee will be punished and God's name might be tarnished. But trust me, God's house is not made of concrete walls, wooden seats, and an altar. It is surrounded by arteries, powered by life-giving water, without which everything else is vain. So dear church people, we were taught to be the salt of the earth. But if we keep looking back a lot at the fire that is our mistakes, then we become salt that is without flavor. Grace and faith.